Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm going to try a God of War E3 2016 gameplay trailer in-depth analysis. Now, I haven't done something like this before, but I love the trailer, and I'm trying to dig right into it just so I can figure out what kind of secrets are being shown in the trailer that many people possibly have not noticed. So let's dive right into it.
That dumb hammer doesn't scare me.
If we pause around here, we can see the two dolls that the child is playing with, presumably Kratos' son. The child is playing with two toys, and on his right hand it would be no doubt some form of troll in the Viking or Norse mythology. However, the toy he's holding in his left hand is a carving of Odin himself. However, it would be not Odin as you're used to seeing him in some kind of godly form, but it would be Odin as a weapon dancer. Now, accreditation goes to vikingruin.com, where I'm getting this information from. It would show the exact same helmet in design as per what's being shown in the carving. And on the website, it shows the depiction of the same thing. However, it's being questioned that Odin is a weapon dancer holding two spears, as per shown in these images. So, it can be safe to say that the child is playing with an Odin figurine and a troll. And then we get Kratos as the badass motherfucker, and also... Wait, hold on, we gotta go back. We can't forget the little horse toy that he left in the middle of the doorway. It's probably gonna get stepped on by Kratos, but hopefully not, and it will survive.
Who can say where the road goes?
If we pause here, we can notice that there are carvings that I have no idea what it means, but it's carvings. I'm not sure what kind of history it would mean of it possibly being a welcoming, or perhaps being something to disrupt spirits, or just simply is Kratos writing in the language of Norse gods saying, "Fuck off, I live here." I don't know, I'm not an expert in this field.
Your mother's knife. It belongs to you now.
We can see this child has a lot of cuts on his face. I have no idea why. He's probably been through a lot of shit, though. His father is Kratos, I mean.
4.
A test. She taught you to hunt, yes?
Yes, sir.
Then show me what you know.
Incoming Kratos! Kratos, the God of War. Now, many might actually think this game could be a reboot of Kratos not having survived God of War 3 and for some reason being in a completely new world. However, if we do look at one piece of evidence, just around here, you can see there's a scar visible on Kratos' chest of when the Sword of Olympus was plunged into his abdomen. It's still present, which either means this is a new timeline or a new world, and it's just every scar he's obtained has just passed on into different incarnations of Kratos, or he's just got that scar from something else that just coincidentally matches a scar he got in a different universe, if we're going to be thinking on a multi-universe category. But it's no doubt, it's Kratos that we all know and love, and he's got all the scars from where he fought Zeus.
Feed us.
And he's hungry. If we zoom up on Kratos' face, perhaps the beard, we can acknowledge here, and in a few other areas I'll stop, Kratos, if it's the same one we all know and love, he is getting old. In the games we played before in God of War 1, 2, and 3, he probably is around 20-ish years old, pretty young, he's got smooth skin. In this, he's looking like he's passing off for around the mid-40s perhaps.
Feed us.
Questionable thing to note, Kratos says, "Feed us."
Feed us.
Now it leaves the question, who the fuck is us?
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer.
Which way?
Your hunt. You tell me.
South?
Kratos is seen here trying to guide his little boy, his little pupper, into how to be a man and how to hunt. Trying to make him confident of himself for the voyage ahead. No doubt his son makes a lot of fuck-ups, which is why he has a lot of scars on his face.
Look! Tracks! They're fresh! This way!
Knowledge gain, plus 25. We could probably note in this, there's going to be some kind of RPG elements. One thing David Jaffe did say he wanted to make in his, with God of War, a long time ago in God of War 1, he said at one point he'd love to make a God of War game that was played in the perspective of a Zelda game. And we could argue this is basically what he probably dreamed of all along, but I'm not sure if David Jaffe has any involvement in this game.
What happened here?
We pause here, we can tell there's signs of destruction on this tree. It has been burned, and is likely caused by the troll that we're about to face ahead. However, the reasoning why it's burned, no idea. We don't know why. Of course, the tree's been burned to ashes or what's happened here previously. They don't seem to mind.
There it is!
Hold. What are you doing? Now his guard is up.
Now Kratos is pissed at his son for fucking up.
Only fire when I tell you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
Or in other words, don't be sorry, get good, son.
Find it.
If we pause here, we can come back to the analysis of just how old Kratos looks. You can just view him, he's not even frowning, and yet there are wrinkles everywhere on his forehead, his temple. He is an aged man. He's even got nose wrinkles. It's also always up to the standards of Sony Monica Studios of making highly detailed skin, just like in God of War 3 with the giant that has such crisp detail that his fingers had fingerprints on them.
No! You are not ready! Stay back!
You can show here, nice crisp details on the axe. At first I thought it possibly was some form of broken fragments or a chunk of the Sword of Olympus perhaps, but put into an axe form. However, this axe doesn't operate as a form of electricity, but ice. So it's some other form of weapon that perhaps we'd be able to craft different variants of for different elemental capabilities, as this one is more frost-based. We can notice also at the head of the axe, we'd probably be able to socket gems in it to vary things up a bit.
I knew something fell off about the forest.
Keep moving.
You know, if you give me my bow back, I can help you fight. I'm ready.
You have yet to prove that.
I need a chance.
You had a chance.
I need another.
Then find that deer. Back away, boy!
At this point, we don't know what the fuck this troll berserker is saying, however, we do know he uttered the words Valhalla, reinforcing the fact that this is Norse mythology. Yay!
Here's your chance! Show me you are ready!
Yes, sir!
Back off, little bleeding! And space your shots! I will draw it from me!
One thing we could probably find out is what reasoning all the enemies so far has some form of fire element attached to them. The enemies that Kratos did destroy before, even though he was using an ice axe, their internals were sort of a magma or fire type of flesh. And this, let's just call him Troll Berserker, has some form of fire or lava-like ability with him, so there's some kind of faction that involves an element of fire and magma, and they're probably causing some kind of ruckus around the forests. Now, this is a situation where he probably has really bad athlete's foot.
Shoot it!
The child had shot the bow, and it was shot some form of electricity or lightning. It probably links back to Zeus's power from before. However, don't know how it's translated into it, and bows of the past would be Zeus's fury or some kind of power. However, it does translate into the bow, and likely has some kind of connection to Zeus. Of course, people have pointed out this already, Spartan Rage. If this wasn't a reboot, this is more confirmation of it, as he's still a Spartan at heart. And Spartans don't exactly exist in Norse mythology.
It is time! I will bring it down! You will kill it!
One thing you could probably point out in this situation, his skin is collecting ash. You can see his skin sort of get more pasty white as per what it was before, where it's more white than what it was before. You could question this is like some kind of connection as to what happened before with him killing his family and him bringing up maybe past problems, or I have no idea, but this definitely has a connection to him usually having ashes on him. And for him to gather up this power of Spartan Rage, it brings back his past self of being covered in pasty white ashes of his daughter and wife.
No, boy!
What?
Do it!
Kratos got shot in the shoulder by his own son. He doesn't seem all too angry at it, so we can tell he's calmed down with age.
Off the ice! No!
As the battle ends, we can sort of see a difference in the pastiness of Kratos. He summoned up the Spartan power, which made his skin a lot more pasty as to sort of, I guess, bring back the memories or whatever necessary powers that be to make it so he brings out some Spartan anger in him. So I'm wondering if his anger and his destructive personality mostly comes out when he summons it up from his past, his memories, or some kind of connection with it. He has to use it in a limited portion to go in a berserk mode state, which makes his skin pasty white, which is kind of interesting. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Staring right at me. How could I look him in the eyes and
Him?
kill?
I thought your mother taught you to hunt.
She did, but I never had to kill anything. She always did that part.
Then it is time for you to learn.
Father, look!
Wait for my mark. Relax. Do not.
We can see some kind of either stitching or a tattoo. I'm almost inclined to think it's stitching from a wound that got on the son's throat, so I am not exactly sure what has happened to this boy in his lifetime, but between having scars on his left face and having what really seems to be stitching in the side of his neck, this kid has definitely been through a lot of shit.
Think of it as an animal. It is simply a target. Clear your mind. Exhale and release.
I got it!
Good.
Here's Kratos being a proud papa, as his son finally does something right. Also, knowledge points gained. It's showing the experience points. If we were to look actually at the statistics, it says knowledge gained archery plus 50. However, we weren't the ones shooting the bow and arrow, so it is highly suggested, in my opinion, that we are playing as Kratos at the beginning, but later in the game we're going to be playing the boy. This could be like Metal Gear Solid 2, doing the switcheroo, where you're playing as Kratos, the person we're all familiar with, only to go into the eyes of the boy. Because we have to remember here, knowledge gained archery plus 50. Kratos does not need any fucking knowledge or points in archery, he just does archery. You can't master what's already been mastered. This is experience for the boy, not Kratos. So keep in mind, this game might just bug a few people. We might not be playing as Kratos, or Kratos may in fact die in this, or simply retire and just be a trainer for the boy. But this experience is for the boy, and that makes it so it's a lot easier to think that we're going to be playing the boy more than Kratos.
So what?
Your knife. No. Finish what you started.
If we look at the deer, we do notice that there is some kind of anomaly happening with the deer. You can tell on the antlers that it has some form of power or magical essence to it. The antlers are glowing blue. There's some kind of strange thing happening with elementals in this game, or whatever timeline universe of Norse mythology this is. Or I'm just not familiar with the animals in Norse mythology, but this is obviously an anomaly where it's blue. It's like it has a connection with an element of some kind. And also, of course, the eyes are blue, which also is a little questionable. So I'm going to have to think that a lot of the story might have to revolve around different elements clashing together. This deer looks like it's connected with ice as well. And Kratos and his boy are all connected to some kind of ice connection. His axe is ice, and I think his son's eyes are blue as well. And the domain that they're in is all ice related. The story definitely would be some kind of conflict between ice and fire and the elements of Norse mythology. As we can tell, the main thing that's happening right now is that Kratos and his son likely have a connection with ice and lightning, and everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
I can't.
I have no idea what the purpose of it is, but we can have a detail again on Kratos' face being really old, but also Kratos' wristbands are covering up a lot of scars. These scars are not, of course, of any kind of cutting, but look, those are definitely marks of singed chains. Those are when the chains had finally come off, and the scars of them being singed on his arms are still there. He still has the scars of when the blades he used to use from when he pledged loyalty to Ares are still a part of his body. His skin and the scars that came with that has not healed, and he's just simply trying to cover them up with a wristband. Here Kratos is paying respects to the animals and the hunt, as they look towards the future, implying both that Kratos is showing respect to the animal for dying and soon to be their meal. And then here's Kratos trying to think to himself, should I show the boy affection or should I be tough as nails with him?
Now, you are ready.
For what?
You're ready, boy, for the world out there is all yours to explore.
A new beginning.
And a new beginning. The game, of course, reinforcing again ice elements having a huge relation to this game, as the Santa Monica Studios seems to be covered in ice for whatever reason.
PlayStation.
So here is the badass motherfucking game of God of War, the Norse mythology. I'm not even sure what the name is going to be or what number it's going to be, but we can tell it's not a reboot, as the scar on Kratos, everything has carried on from God of War 1, 2, and 3. From the scars on his arms, from the chains, from the Blade of Olympus being plunged into his chest. He is the old Kratos, and he somehow survives. So we're going to be learning how Kratos survived, no doubt, and why he's in this world. At the end of God of War 3, we basically destroy the entire world. Now, I'm not sure if this game's going to be playing into some kind of multiverse, or if it's going to be him traveling through time, or something happening, but this is the old Kratos. This is not a new Kratos that's just simply plucked and put into a different timeline of Kratos versus Norse gods, but it might take a twist that we're not expecting, because it's going to be... The trailer basically showed us that we're guiding the child. We're going to take control of the child, no doubt more than Kratos. But whether or not Kratos dies as a means to show that Kratos is gone, and we can't just milk it anymore, is left to be questioned. But all we know is Kratos is fathering a son, he's training him to be a man, and the whole world is to explore, and it's being advertised as you will be playing as the son, exploring this brand new world. As they say, it is a new beginning, and this is going to be an entry into the new beginning of a God of War series, but transitioning into a new character. And this is them trying to say, here's Kratos, he's following his son, try to make the son a badass, and make him continue the legacy of what Kratos left behind. So, I'm anticipating more information in God of War. I've not tried a trailer analysis of any kind, so I apologize if this seemed very amateurish, or if some of the things I said were really cringy. Get used to it. I don't mind. I like to have fun sometimes, and this was fun for me to do. It's something different. I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again, but I do hope people enjoyed my trailer analysis. Now, beyond all that, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, become a subscriber, or in my terms, fluffscriber, and until next time.